almost 2 years now. I think it's essentially to do with the oil industry going down, and also, in my opinion, like policies that allowed a lot of people to sort of come into Canada, but at the same time, the businesses are outsourcing work. So while on one hand the government sort of seems to import people, the work is actually being sent out overseas to be executed. So there's lots of engineers and people from the industry here that could be doing the jobs, but there's no jobs to do.
Okay. What's your message here today then?
We have a few items that we've suggested to the government, recommendations, because though there's lots of systems in place to sort of engage workers as an engagement, but I think the need of the hour is job creation. And we have a lot of suggestions, one of which is to control outsourcing, to have a better management on the immigration policies so that it doesn't continue to sort of bring in more skilled workers into a place. There's not enough work to support the resident engineers and technologists in this place. So, and then we also have suggestions related to the diversification plan. While the government's embarked on a diversification plan that is talking about petrochemicals and renewable energy and infrastructure, there's been no plan we see in place to sort of take the oil and gas or the energy workers into it. There may be opportunities for people in trades, but Canada's got a lot of highly skilled and highly educated engineers and technologists in place who have come in here, but there's not enough opportunities for them. And these are the issues that we want the government to sort of take up and address. So the temporary foreign worker program is just one of those programs, and I know like about a few weeks ago they had like 29 different disciplines identified to sort of control the amount of people that will be immigrated here. But however, there are other programs. You have skilled worker programs, you have federal level programs that could also be affecting what is happening here. So it's actually sort of not contributing to the situation. It's not helping Canada sort of service its own people. And though a lot of these may be federal issues, we are looking to the government here to sort of champion our cause, understand what the issues are. Because one of the things that we see is not everybody in the government is aware or could be aware of how the industry works. But what we are here is to do is try and talk to them. We've been doing this discussion or having this discussion for almost like 6 to 8 months now, trying to meet various people and educate them. And though we have met a few of them in Calgary, like we are here to follow up on some of these suggestions that we've already made. And we still are waiting for answers on those because again, like I said, the issue is not about engagement. A lot of us that came here had jobs in the past few years, and we knew how to sort of get into the industry here and get to like learn more about how business is done in Canada. But today the need of the hour is job creation, and that is kind of what our focus is.
The economy is just starting to grow this year. They're saying 2.5 to 3.3, whatever you believe. I think that's really the main thing here is once the economy starts growing, those jobs come back.
It depends upon which sector of the economy is growing, because the growth that people are forecasting, if you hear what Conference Board of Canada sort of advice, it's not really clear on which sectors are growing. I mean, there's lots of, if this happens, then the economy will grow. But in reality, what is also happening is the statistics that you generally hear about the unemployment rate falling down to 8%, it's a gross number. But what it doesn't do is address key sectors, like let's say the engineers and technologists, where the unemployment rate could be like 35 to 40% or even larger than that. When you get to Calgary, I don't know how the effect in Edmonton is, but in Calgary, like you could be seeing those kind of numbers out there because we know that because we see a lot of our friends and colleagues laid off, and they've been laid off for a long time, sometimes nearing 3 years now. So that's kind of the issue. So we don't really see those numbers. Like there could be growth, but it may not involve us, which is kind of why we are here as well. Because we want to know how the government and Canada sort of plans to take us with them as we grow.
So what message do you hope this sends to the government today?
What we'd like the government to do is look at reality address the issues, because moreover, when they look around the world, like almost everybody is taking care of their own citizens. I mean, you have to look south to see that it's happening, but it's been happening in other parts of the world as well. So it's time to sort of get in and regulate the business to see that it sort of helps the larger interests of the nation rather than just the bottom line. And that's kind of the key message that we'd like to convey.
Canadian value and Alberta first.
Is everyone here an engineer then, Sam?
Yes.
They're either engineers or technologists.
Okay.
But there's also associated colleagues who are in supply chain or project control that don't fall necessarily under these classifications.
Yeah.
But they're also some of them are here as well.
Yeah. But they're all people looking for jobs.
They're all people looking for jobs, and they're all wanting to know what is going to happen next, because there's not enough feedback coming down at the grassroots level, and which is really important, because it's a question of people's future, not just there, but their families as well. Because people have come here to grow roots, but then the huge uncertainty of where they are going to be heading or not heading is not clear, and they don't know what needs to be done. And what they seem to see is a little bit of apathy here in terms of people who are not really trying to understand the issue and address it. So again, going back to those growth numbers, if you just relied on those numbers, if you have a banking or some other industry come up, those will bring up the numbers, but you will have sectors of people that are left behind. And we're talking about people that sacrifice a lot to get here in terms of wanting a better life and be part of a better system or society. But that is not really happening now, and it really is difficult out there.
And is everyone from Calgary then?
There's a lot of people from Edmonton as well.
There are. Okay.
They're across the province.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Spruce Grove, you see people everywhere. When these guys approached us, that they wanted to come and meet with us, and then we said if we can organize others also across from Alberta. There are people coming from all over, but the majority of them came from Calgary.
But one of the other main messages that we want to sort of convey as well is a lot of us are here from a group called the Association of Calgary Engineers and Designers.
Yeah.
It's not a formal association, but a collection of people with like-minded issues and wanting to sort of make progress. But there's no political affiliation here. We are here to sort of see what needs to be done right. And again, we have the support of people that understand the industry better. So we sort of come over here to Edmonton on that basis. But however, we have been talking to people in the government, people in the opposition as well, to sort of try and educate them on what is happening and what could be done to make it better.
Very good. Well done.
Thank you.